Hello everyone, it is Susan here and welcome to my channel, Suehiles Art. This is my favorite video of the week to make. It is my Monday crafty chit chat and slow stitching video. And today we are going to look in this bin of mine for fabric that I can use for the rest of this. Let me just fix this camera for the rest of this wall hanging. So far, let me move this bin for a second. So we did the dowel last Monday, so that's fine. I do have these two blocks pinned on here. I didn't want to sew them yet because until I know exactly what I'm doing with the rest of the background, I didn't want to sew it down yet. Just in case, in case I needed, to sew something else on here. I don't know. So I'm just trying to be a little bit patient to, not sew these down just yet. I'm going to wait and let's see what we find today to finish this, because I have two more sections just like this that I have to add on to the bottom, so it's going to be long. What I'm going to do is I think I'll put a little insert right here of a quick little video of where I plan to hang this in my craft room, and you'll see that that it's like the perfect spot, and this I think is going to be the perfect size to hang there. So yeah, let me insert that little quick video right here. Okay, so this is where I want to hang the wall hanging that we're working on. So yeah, it seems like a spot just waiting for this project. So it will go right like that, and it's going to be perfect. So that's where I'm planning to hang it. Alrighty, so I think it's going to be the perfect spot. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to look through this bin. So remember, I used a piece of a sheet fabric, and it wasn't long enough, so I knew I was going to have to add to the bottom of it. So that's what we're trying to see, if I have more sheet fabric like this right here. Now I don't know, but we'll see what I have, and if it doesn't match perfectly, that's fine too. I just need to find something, or even two different sections, right? So if I had three totally different colors or shades for the background, that would be fine too, because then that would be intentional, right? So it doesn't have to all be like this really pale yellow color. They can be different colors, so each section could be a different color. So I can go that way as well. So let's just kind of look through here. So this is a drawer. This is one from the plastic iris. It's a 3-drawer organizer, and I pulled out the drawer. This is where I have the majority of my fabrics that I can use as basically backgrounds, or I have like lace in here, but they're a little bit, I want to say, bigger pieces. Yeah, and I also put things in here like something like this that I find at a thrift store. I think this is a curtain, but I bought it because it was so beautiful. I mean, like, look at how gorgeous that is, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, so that's the kind of stuff that I put in here that, pretty decent size, pretty neutral. I mean, some of it can be embroidered, you know, that type of thing. So let's go ahead and begin. So the beginning is right over here. So I think I'll just move this over to the side a little bit. So again, we're looking for something that is at least as wide as this and similar in color if possible. So yeah, and we can just kind of look through what I have in here. So this is obviously a piece of a curtain. That's not going to work. Let me move my coffee out of the way. I have things like this. So this I tea-dyed, and this my grandmother had embroidered, and it had bad stains on it. So, you know, I didn't mind hand dyeing it, and I think it's gorgeous. And so that will be used for something special one day. This is actually a pattern from a kit, some sort of a, you know, yarn kit, you know, whether it was Crewel or whatever. I think it was Crewel. And I buy them at the thrift stores because, you know, you can get a brand new, I should say unopened kit, and for like a couple dollars. And so it will include, you know, beautiful fabric like this that can be used elsewhere. It includes all of the yarn. Sometimes it includes what are the rings called? Yeah, it can include one of those. I mean, it'll include some instructions, which you can then use later as ephemera. So I really like to purchase kits like that, and that's what this is. And that is a beautiful piece, right? It's just like totally not the right color. I mean, like totally not. So I think I want to stay more in like the more neutral type color. This was actually from a Crewel kit that either my aunt or my grandmother had started sewing, and I have the yarn from it. And so I have that I use. And I tea-dyed this and tore it apart. I figure, I mean, it wasn't completed, and I wasn't going to complete it. So that's that. This I got at, I'm going to say at a thrift store. Yes, at a thrift store. And, you know, I mean, it's like super pretty, right? It's gorgeous. The fabric is gorgeous. The embroidery is gorgeous. Yeah, but not for this project. Okay, so here we go. So here's another pattern that I would have gotten out of some sort of a kit from the thrift store. And again, the fabric is gorgeous. All you have to do is turn it over. Although a lot of times I'll use, like I tear this into pieces, so you can see I've already torn it over here. And, you know, sometimes I use this side of it, but it might be just like a little piece like this, but it just brings a little bit more interest to the project that I'm working on. So I actually like that. I mean, it's a totally different texture, but I love working with different textures. So you know what? I think I'm going to leave this out as a possible option, because it is, I mean, the color's great, the size is great, so I think I'll put that to the side. Then I have a lot of linen napkins I also get at the thrift store. And I love using these for the either wall hangings, like I leave them whole and I use them as wall hangings. Like I have 3 of them hung in my living room. Or I like to tear them apart and use them for the pages of my journals. Or I just use them as blocks. So that's a good one, but that's not, I think it's a little too flimsy. Now this is very cool. This feels like, is this muslin? It might be muslin. Now, of course, that is, I mean, that might even be the same exact fabric. Now, like if you could feel it and you might be able to see it, this sheet fabric is much softer and thinner than this. But look at the color. The color is almost exact. So I'm going to keep that out. Here's another pattern that I have from a kit. And see, even the background of this, see, I guess I need to, you know, I'm going to keep, well, let's see. Let me see the background or the back side of this pattern and if you can really see through it. So I think this one I can see the pattern. Otherwise, I might have used this for the whole rest of the wall hanging because it's really good size. But yeah, then I have some linen napkins. This is a tea towel. I forget where I got this, but I love it. I hoard it. So yeah, so I have that. Like, I don't think I want to go white. This is a piece of a curtain. That looks like the valance, maybe. Then I have things like this in here, which you guys know that my favorite fabric, or at least one of them, is, you know, any kind of a eyelet. So like, I love everything about this piece. Everything. It is stained. So someday I'll use it. What I think about sometimes is maybe not with this piece, but like if it had more of a solid inside, you know how sometimes you have beautiful pieces that would go onto a table and there's the ruffle on the outside, but the inside is more of like a solid. I often think about using it as a whole and making blocks to go on the inside of it and actually hang it. So maybe we'll do that at some point too, a project like that, and then hang, you know, something that to me would be absolutely gorgeous. But you can see it has stains on it. So the stuff that's in here is stuff that I don't mind tearing up if need be. Another piece of eyelet, but this is a beautiful, it's not egg crew, it's darker than egg crew, but it's just gorgeous. I have no idea where I got this from, but I love it. So, and it's too small. I have another linen napkin with beautiful trim on the end, too small. I have some laces. I'm not looking for lace. Another piece of a curtain. I have this. I like this, but it's not what I'm looking for. I need something solid. This is a piece of a curtain. I remember this fabric because I found at a thrift store, there was this bag and it was like packed. I mean, it was like fat and it was filled with these curtains and it was like $10 or something like that. And yeah, so ever since then, I just keep tearing it down into smaller pieces to use it up. This is a curtain that I tea dyed. Here is a piece of like canvas, which would also, no, that doesn't look wide enough, but that's a beautiful piece of fabric. It's heavy. What does this say? Press with this side up, made in the USA. Taser made? Is that what that says? Taser made, T-A-I-Z-O-R made. A pressing cloth. This is a pressing cloth. So this is something used for ironing, so you don't iron right onto the fabric. I don't know. I've never heard of anything like this. Does anybody here know anything about something like this? That is so interesting to me. So I have this and I don't even know that I have it. Okay, well, that's cool. Whatever it is. Now here's another piece. So let me look at this. This is similar in color as well. Very similar. It's also very thin. This might be the same fabric. It looks a little bit lighter maybe than this one, but I'm going to go ahead and keep that piece out as well because I think that's good. So here's linen napkin. Oh, I have a whole bunch of linen napkins. So when I go to a thrift store, like these are all linen napkins, these all here. It is one of the things that I look for, and I will buy all of them that they have. And they're fabulous to work with. Fabulous. I really enjoy working with them. This piece is too small, too colorful. Here's something. Looks like it was a cross stitch pattern or project. And here's another piece. Now this is definitely, oh, you know what this is? This is a pillowcase. That's what this is, but I don't think I need it because I found the other fabrics that look really good. Oh, I have this. I think I bought this from Sherry from her Etsy store, Turquoise Dreaming. Yeah, I hoard this as well because I just love it. I love it. It's obviously a calendar from 1985, so I hoard that. Here's some more laces. Something really pink, a sheet. I don't know where that's from. I have more curtains. I have more lacy curtains and more lace. I have like little pieces of stuff here. Here's another, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful. Look at how gorgeous this piece is. Yeah, I need to do something with this stuff. I don't even know where I got that. No idea. Yeah, all of these little pieces are from curtains. Yeah. Now this is that same curtain that I said I bought, and it was a really big package at a thrift store. And this one I tea dyed. I don't coffee dye. I like to tea dye better. So it's just easier for me. Then these are also linen napkins. And that's really it. This is beautiful lace that I have set aside because one of these days I'm going to use this. I've tried a couple times and it just does not cut it for me. It's something I started several years ago. I bought an old cover of a book and I put grommets into it, and I don't know where they are on this one, but I put grommets in and I messed it up because the grommets were not even. And so then therefore I never used it, but one of these days I'll figure out something to do with this because yeah, I'll figure out something. And this piece is this lace right here, so that's why I have that set aside. And you know, as far as napkins that have that are so dark in color like these, I don't know, you know, maybe someday I'll use them, but I don't think I would purchase anymore because I don't know, you know, I don't use that as much, you know, something that dark in color. So, yep. All right, so let me just put all this back in here. I'll put this back in my closet because that's where I keep the bin. All right, so that's good. So we got, I think, 3. Let me put this on my chair. And I think we got 3 different pieces that we could use for this. Now I'm going to turn it so it's, you know, so the back is on top so we can see the color of it. And I do have my tripod actually all the way up. I'm going to leave it all the way up just for the purposes of this video so you guys can see a little bit better since we're working with big fabric pieces and that kind of thing. Okay, so the 3 pieces that we got are this one that has the pattern on it that is heavier than that. We have this, which is a really good match in color to that, except it's a little heavier. It's not quite the same. And then there's this. So this is a piece that I want it. No, you know what? I don't know. I was going to say I think that this is also sheet fabric, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't think that it is a sheet. I don't think so. But it's also a good option. So which one do we select? I don't know. Well, let's kind of do this. Let's see if we can exclude at least one of these. So this is that heavier fabric. And so if I put that at the bottom of that, and the next two blocks, let me grab them. They're right next to me right here. I think, is that one? Oh, see, now I forget how I had these. No, it's like this. And this one is shorter. It's not as long as the rest of them. So I made another one that's short so I can kind of piece it all together and it's the same length. Yeah, so I mean, I could use this, right? So if I turn this around and say, I know that this is crooked. This is definitely, the bottom of this is not straight. I would cut this piece. I'm just kind of talking it out with you guys. And sew it here. I mean, it can even go this way. I could sew it together like that. Like, because I want these together so it looks like one big piece, almost like a quilt, right? But I, by no means, am not calling myself a quilter by any means whatsoever. So, I mean, it would definitely work. There's very little of the underneath fabric that actually shows. So you know what that kind of tells me? It kind of tells me that I should use something that maybe I have, well, a lot of, and everything that I pulled out I have a good amount of, and something that was cheap. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm not sure, but these two I could have bought at my local fabric store, my mom and pop store up the street, which means I would have paid good money for these, right? Both of these. And so I'm going to put these to the side for a minute. So if I think about cost of the fabric, knowing that I'm not going to really see much of it, then this would be the right piece, and it is plenty long, right? So it's plenty long that I can put 2 more sets of blocks on it, because this is something I would have gotten for $1 or $2, a whole kit with yarn in it, maybe needles, stuff like that. And so this piece of fabric probably costs next to nothing, pennies, literally. And so I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to use this for the remaining 4 blocks. So these would go here, like this. Then I feel like I have something backwards. Oh, no, I don't. So then what would happen, let me move something to the side so I can move this up a little bit. So then what would happen is this would go here, And then the last piece, which we still haven't finished yet, is going to go here. So that's the way that it would look, is like this. And I like it, and I'll tell you why. Because I have the brown and the brown, so there's not, you know, brown on top of one another. So I like that. And like I said, when we picked out the fabric for this, and I used a lot of yellow, I like it offset with this piece up here. And I know you can't see all of the pieces. I know that, but yeah, so the yellow in here. That's what I think I'm going to do. So let's go ahead. I mean, and there's extra at the bottom, but it wouldn't have been enough to put another set of blocks and do the top with the dowel. It's not that long, but it is definitely long enough to put in 2 more rows. So all we have to do is tear down the side and tear at the bottom, and then I can sew this onto this here, and then I can put the blocks on. That's like perfect. It's perfect. Okay, so now the nerve-wracking part to this is I have to tear it to the right size. And I'm assuming, which I shouldn't do, but I am assuming that I can tear this, and I may not be able to. So yeah, so I think what I'll do is just to try, I think I'm gonna have to cut this, but I'm just gonna see if I can tear a piece of it, and let's see. Yeah, no, it's not gonna tear. So I'm not gonna do, I was hoping to do it on camera with all of you, but I think I'm gonna take my time. I'm going to, you know, do a little bit of measuring, which I almost like never do. And then I'll go ahead and cut it. What I'll probably do, and you've seen me do this, I think in the last video, which I almost never do, but what I'll probably do, so I cut it straight, is I'll just take my mechanical pencil, my cheap one, and just put a line down, so when I cut it, I'm cutting it fairly straight. Yeah, so I will do that off camera. Yeah. Yeah, so let me see. We are almost at 30 minutes. We are close to 30 minutes. So I guess I'll just talk to you guys for a minute. And yeah, I don't know that I want to start sewing this yet. What I'm thinking of doing, let me move that up a little bit. What I'm thinking of doing with this piece is, let me zoom in now. So what I'm thinking of doing with this piece, as far as when it comes to sewing it, I think what we're going to do together is I want to do some, what are they called? Seed stitches. And I thought that this solid fabric back here would be really good for seed stitches. And if you don't know what that is, all it is, I don't think I have it anywhere else on this project. Do I? I'm just looking at the different blocks. I don't think I've done seed stitching on this. Oh, I did a little bit. So see down here, this yellow, they're just little stitches. That's all seed stitching is. It's just little stitches in all different directions. And they add just a nice little touch to what you're working on. So I thought maybe that would look good on here, this piece back here. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing that. And then like the rest of the pieces of the fabric is very, I mean, I don't want to say busy, but it's not plain like this, right? So if I seed stitch this or maybe even this, it just, well, I don't think it would look right. Maybe this I could seed stitch, this piece over here on the white. I could do that. But like on here, you wouldn't see it. On here, it's just, this is silk. It's just not even the right, nothing. That wouldn't even make sense to me. This up here is a heavy piece of furniture or upholstery fabric. Yeah, it just, so I think I'm going to do the seed stitches here. So when it comes time to where we sew this, the fabric onto this, so this is the last block for this wall hanging. So it's the 6th one that we've worked on. And yeah, so when it comes time to sew this, all this fabric down, we will go ahead and do some seed stitching on there. And we're almost done. We're almost done. So I'm excited to hang this on my wall. I'm super duper 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 excited. So I think that will be it for today. I will be back on Wednesday with my next Roxy Journal of Stitchery Volume 3 video. The prompt, oh my gosh, for the end of March is like critters. I kind of stress out when it comes to like animals. So I can't sew an animal by any means. So what I do is I look through my fabrics and yeah, so I'll see what I find and what I can do. I mean, I did already add one critter behind the door. But I'll find more in my fabrics and yeah, and we'll get some critters sewn down. Oh my gosh, that whole project kind of stresses me just a little bit, but in a good way. It challenges me. I shouldn't say stress. It challenges me, and yeah, a little bit of stress maybe. And I love it. So, so that's going to be it for today. So thank you so much for being here. And I pray that you all have a wonderfully blessed week. God bless everybody. Bye-bye.